Africa wasn't just like sticks and mud. That like, Africa actually has, modern technology and roads and running water and all that type of stuff. And then that Africa is a continent, not a country. I've seen clips of Speed's story and like I love it because every place he goes, he kind of rewrites like the stereotype or the image that people have in their head, and he shows that hey, like this is a normal place. But especially with Africa, some of y'all I genuinely like worry about because even when people who are like, oh, but the American propaganda makes you think that Africa is just like nothing and extremely all this. Guys, can you do a little bit of research and maybe just like a little bit of logical thinking? Like, do you really think an entire continent would just be sticks and mud and tribal people? If you just look up Africa City, you will see so many cities that look just like ours with skyscrapers, big buildings, roads, infrastructure, all that type of stuff.
Somebody asked for a part two to the Africa joint. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I never said that I didn't know about the African cities. I never said that shit. I never even said I got my politics off of the nigga stream. I didn't even watch the nigga stream. I seen a couple clips. Nigga, first of all, dog, since I was 16, 17, I knew that there were cities in Africa. That's when I first found out. But nigga, before all of this shit, before the social media even got to the point where it is now, it's like it's not coming across niggas' minds to be like, oh, I'm gonna look up Africa cities and shit. I only seen what I seen on TV, and that shit controlled. So you only seeing like I remember seeing like the Ebola virus on TV. Like it should look like a desert, bro. And that's all. That's all. When niggas talked about Africa, that's all that they talked about. But of course, I learned after. But motherfuckers don't listen. That's why niggas ain't getting to part three. Niggas don't listen.
Hello guys, how are you all doing? So a lot of reactions coming from Black Americans. They can't stop talking about I should speak tour in Africa, especially the tour in South Africa. Guys, it choke. A lot of things actually happened. A lot of people actually thought I should speak is in Africa to collaborate with a lot of content creators, especially the streamers. The upcoming streamers. No, man, IShowSpeed's is here to learn about the diverse cultures of African countries. He's not here to collaborate with your favorite artists or your favorite musicians or your favorite content creators. No. Anyway, IShowSpeed actually enjoyed his stay in South Africa. It was marvelous. It was beautiful. The people of South Africa welcome him very well. Oh my god, people can't stop talking about the warm welcome he received from South Africans, right? He felt like he was in his house, in his home, because he's a black person. They welcome him so well, more than how Europeans even value him. He was valued in Africa more than how they value him in Europe. A lot of people are actually talking about it. Anyway, if you're new on my channel, you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe on this platform. Like, drop your comments, let me know what you think in the comment section. A lot of videos, and even Black Americans crying. Why are they crying? I don't know. Guys, keep watching.
I don't even watch Speed like that, but I've been in his algorithm, I guess, recently because a lot of people in the Black African diaspora in the Americas and even in Europe are discussing how I am Speed, or I'm not even sure of his full name, but he's, apparently one of the biggest live streamers in the world. I didn't know that. I didn't know he had that ranking, but, he's a Black American man, and he recently has been going on these public tours and telling people about, where he's going to be. And apparently when he visited Europe and Asia, he got a lot of racist backlash and people just coming at him, like finding him to be racist to him. And so now that he's in Angola and I believe in South Africa, a lot of people are just seeing the fact that he's being welcomed and basically treated like a king, and obviously we know that, money and clout is a part of that, right? Like not every African American who goes over to the African continent is going to be treated with a bunch of fans and fanfare. But at the end of the day, it still shows that even with someone who had a platform, he was treated drastically differently on two different continents. And I believe he was in Asia as well, and they did the same thing, like a lot of weird racist stuff to him in Asia. And so, yeah, just Angola, from what I've seen, has a pretty good infrastructure. And obviously South Africa is very well put together. And so it should come as no surprise that he was treated better, in my opinion. But that just goes to show you why we should be having these conversations, because, again, they want all black people to hate each other and not identify with where we come from, so that we don't start making moves to get the hell up out of here and stop wasting our time in nations that act like they don't even really want us and want us as work mules and slaves. So, you know, I just saw a really beautiful video where someone was brought to tears because of what they saw and how he was being treated, because they were just basically bringing up the same lie that they were taught, that, oh, Africans hate you and all they do is live in huts and stuff over there and they've got nothing, and on top of that they hate you and they're jealous of you and all this other stuff. And I've just never known it to be true. And I think those of us in the diaspora, those of us who come from the Caribbean, Europe, the Americas, Latin America, wherever, what have you, I think we need to start like acknowledging the fact that, like, yeah, people are going to be people anywhere. You're just because you had a one bad interaction with a nasty person, you know, African person, doesn't mean that the entire continent is against you. Like, that is such a weird jump to make. There's plenty of African Americans who I want to smack. There's plenty of Canadians, Jamaican Canadians I want to smack. There's plenty of Jamaicans I want to smack. But there's plenty of people in all of those same groups who are down for me and, you know, have supported me and, you know, support my work and what I do and all that stuff. There's a couple of Nigerians that I met here who I want to smack. And then there's Nigerians who I look up to online who I think are amazing people and are doing amazing work. And I bring up Nigeria specifically because that is my homeland. That's where most of my ancestry comes from. So, you know, nothing's ever going to be perfect. And there's plenty of places maybe on the African continent that do need some structural change. And no, not everything is perfect, but how is it going to get any better if you keep believing that black people are inherently the problem when colonialization was thrust upon us and a bunch of other melanated people on the planet? So I'm glad that just the fact that one of the most popular streamers in the world is showing black people and those of us in the diaspora the fact that, like, a lot of these African fallacies and lies, they're falling away by the wayside. You can't look at what's going on in America right now and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then assume that everything is going terribly in Africa as well, when that's such a huge, vast continent with all of these different countries. Like, clearly they've got a whole bunch of different stuff going on, good and bad, just like the Americas do. So I'm really glad to see that, you know, a lot of people are taking notes from what they're seeing by Speed being in Africa and what that means for those of us in the diaspora. It can be a good time. We can learn some things, and we can make connections that are important, lasting, and lifelong.
Speed in Africa makes me so happy. I just love seeing that he's having a great time, because a lot of black Americans don't travel to Africa. They stay in America and they believe a lot of the lies that their white racist granddaddy be telling them about Africa. And I know a lot of them watching Speed will say, oh, it's because he's a celebrity. And it's like, y'all don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all just be ignorant as fuck doing all of this. But when I was in Nigeria, like, I would see white people more than I would ever see. I don't think I saw one black American when I was in Nigeria for like 8 years. So I just love to see when black Americans visit anywhere in Africa, they have a great time, they connect, they just have great experiences. Of course, traveling, going anywhere, you won't always have great experiences. That's just how life is. But it just brings me so much joy. I never saw, like, I would always, you would see a white person in Africa before you see a black American. The same white Americans, you'll see them in Africa before you see a black. It's so crazy because white Americans will go to Africa, have a grand ass time. And then the black Americans, the ones that look really close to a lot of Africans, are the ones that are like, yeah, they hate us. I can't go. They won't accept us. Like, why? How come you've already made up your mind before you even know anything? And that's how I know it's y'all's racist granddaddies, white granddaddies. I see a lot of black Americans saying, oh, I don't think Africans like us. You don't think 54 countries in Africa, like 54 different countries with thousands of different tribes of people, they don't like just you from one country in America, like in North America? Like, you really think, like, how did you come to that conclusion? Did you go there and everyone rejected you? You went to every country and they all rejected you? No. If you are a black American person that has, born and raised in America, never been to Africa, I need you to delete everything that you think you know about Africa. Just delete it. Because Africa has never been portrayed to be what it actually is to the world. The indigenous people in Africa have never been portrayed as what they really are. Especially if you're American, you know that the white racist American government, how racist America has been. It's changing slowly, but you know what is going on. Racist African cartoons, how they display Africans, the fact that a lot of racist people like to use Africa to like taunt black Americans. Y'all need to delete all that, because that is what is giving you your information. That is where you're coming from when you talk about Africa. You don't know shit about Africa. Even most Africans don't know shit about Africa. So if they don't know shit, I know you don't know shit. You actually have zero experience with Africans. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh, the Africans in America, that's not it, sorry. And it's so funny how y'all always like to forget African booty scratchers. The fact that y'all bullied Africans so much that they have to say they was Jamaican. Y'all forget all that and then turn around and be like, I don't think Africans like us. Oh, really? You don't think? Because all 54 countries of Africans, they don't like you, just... And y'all will go to white European countries. Y'all will go everywhere before you go to Africa. All I'm saying is broaden your horizons and always assume that you don't know enough. Especially if you're a black person, whatever idea that you have of another group of black people, just put yourself in their shoes and be like, if I was them, would I also be like that? If the answer is no, then question, find out information, do some research.
Guys, what do you have to say? I just want to say thank you for watching my videos. Do want to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. If you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe, okay? So that whenever I drop videos, you will be the first to see it. You're gonna get notification about my videos. See you guys. For those of you who are always saying, look at the lens of your camera, I don't know, I always like to look at this side. That's why anytime I watch